Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking another walk around the city and talking to some locals about why they chose St. Petersburg, Florida over Tampa. It's a very common debate in our area, with many comparing the two cities, especially for those thinking of relocating here. So today we're going to be getting the inside scoop from the people who live here, sharing why they chose St. Pete and why St. Petersburg is a place for them. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jeffrey Clarke. I'm the broker owner for one of the top real estate teams here in the Tampa Bay area. As a Florida native and local to St. Petersburg, I'm excited to give you an insider's view of what life here is really like. If you're considering moving or relocating to St. Petersburg, Florida, my team and I would love to help you find the perfect home. My contact information is below, so reach out if we can ever be of service. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Who are we talking with today?
It's Robert Ferrante.
And how long have you lived in the St. Petersburg area?
21 years.
Holy moly. So you've seen the city change?
Sure have, yep.
Wow. Okay, so the kind of theme of this video is St. Pete compared to Tampa. What are your thoughts comparing the two cities? Why St. Pete and not Tampa?
I feel like St. Pete's a little bit, it has more of that local vibe, more of maybe like more hippies, not so. I feel like Tampa is a little bit more pretentious.
Yeah,
maybe.
Fair. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then what are some of the biggest changes you've seen happen in your 21 years of being in this area?
Central Avenue's kind of big, like a lot of new storefronts. They're always constantly changing, so I think that always happens. But the waterfront got a lot better.
So in your opinion, do you think, just generally speaking, is St. Pete more or less affordable than Tampa, or about the same?
I would say about the same, but I operate a landscape company, so I do have projects in St. Pete and I have some in Tampa. I think I know some of the rent prices in Tampa. Maybe they're in a little bit more. A lot of the work I do over there is like Water Street, Cumberland area.
Yeah.
I think rent prices potentially higher over there. As far as food and stuff, I'd say it's about the same. The cost of living is close.
What do you think? We hear a lot about the food scene in St. Petersburg having kind of taken off in the last few years. Is that your experience?
Yeah, it's good. I don't think anything crazy, just a normal amount of restaurants, but some really good ones that we like.
Yeah.
I still get stuck on Tony's down the street that's been there for like 20 or 30 years, so.
Nice. Okay, and if there's one or two things that you think everyone needs to know about St. Petersburg, what would those things be?
Shoot, that's a tough question. Fun city. You got the city, you got the beach, all close by. Use the Sunrunner to go back and forth, I think is a really fun ride.
So who do we have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Jennifer Shannon.
Jennifer, nice to meet you. I'm Jeffrey.
Nice to meet you.
So how long have you lived in the St. Pete area?
I have lived in the St. Pete area over 21 years.
21 years? That's the
Yes.
second person, back-to-back 21 years. That's amazing.
Right.
So you've seen the city totally change.
Yes.
What was the deciding factor for you on St. Petersburg? Why didn't you move to Tampa? Especially 21 years ago, it was a much bigger city.
That's where my husband got a job.
Okay, hey.
And at the time, we looked at homes near Tampa, and at the time I worked for Sarasota County. This was kind of the limit of what I was willing to commute to Sarasota County, and because we realized it's best to live near one of our jobs so that someone can run home and deal with an appointment at the house if needed.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
in the last 21 years, what are some of the big changes you've seen in St. Petersburg, and how do you feel about them?
Just the revitalization of downtown. I lived on the outskirts of St. Pete itself. I'm actually in Seminole now.
Okay.
But it seems that there's a lot more to do downtown. When the economic downturn happened around 2008, 2010, this area kind of dried up, but it seems to have come back, and it's much artsier and more trendy and vibrant.
Yeah. How would you compare that vibe compared to Tampa?
So I actually work in Tampa now. I'd say they're kind of similar, but it feels more open here because you don't have skyscrapers everywhere, and it's more artsy, and it's a little bit more laid back than Tampa. Tampa seems to be all business to me, although I work on an outskirt, thankfully just over a bridge, so that driving's not too bad.
Yeah. Between St. Pete and Tampa, which city do you think is a little more walkable?
I think St. Petersburg is.
Yeah, that's been pretty good. It's so funny when we interview people, they use the same adjective. It's like artsy, laid back, friendly, walkable.
Right, and it's funny because my kids used to take music lessons off of First Avenue, and at the time, Rick, I can't remember his last name, I think it starts with K, he was the mayor, and he used to take lessons there too, and so it was nice to see that the mayor even was using all of the resources in downtown St. Pete.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
if there were two or three things you would want to tell someone moving from out of the state and trying to
Right.
decide between St. Pete and Tampa, what are things that they should consider, or maybe something you would encourage them to take into account?
I'd take into account where you live and your commute to your employment, or if you're coming here as a retiree, just choose what you enjoy most to be around. The second thing I would suggest is also I'm an engineer, so I would also suggest looking at your whether or not you live in a floodplain
Yes.
and understanding that you need to evacuate in the storms.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but I do recommend coming here. I know that there are many people that enjoy living where they work or living in a place where they can walk and be part of a community, and I think that's pretty important.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
No problem.
Okay, and we are here with
Hi, I'm Krista Quicker.
Krista. So, how long have you lived in St. Petersburg?
I've been in St. Pete for 6.5 years. I moved down from a suburb of Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. What was that like coming from there to here? Was there any like major things that stood out to you as far as the lifestyle goes?
Yeah, obviously living in the suburbs is a bit different than being more in the small city that we've got here. Culturally, obviously, Washington, D.C. is a big hub there, so it's been cool to find the pockets that I can down here. I will say Vietnamese food down here is, in my opinion, better, or maybe I wasn't finding the right spots up there.
Nice.
But yeah, it's been a really great move. Sunshine City, obviously.
Yeah. So when you were moving here, why St. Pete? Why not a city like Tampa?
Yeah, so I was moving as a result of my parents moving down here for retirement, so I wanted to stay close to them. I was actually looking in anywhere from the Tampa Bay to Orlando areas, and I actually got a job here in St. Pete, which is kind of what prompted more the move to St. Pete than other areas.
Nice. And so living in St. Pete now the last 6+ years, you've seen a lot of things change. How does that feel for you? Does it change the vibe of the city or the culture? Or would you say it's a net positive, a net negative? How's that experience been?
Yeah, it's interesting being someone that came, a little bit before COVID and seeing even just the changes I've seen and hearing from other people how it used to be, seeing even some pictures before and afters. It is kind of neat seeing it grow, larger. We're getting more apartment buildings downtown and that kind of stuff, which I know some people are kind of curmudgeonly about, but
we need it.
Yeah, we need it. It's the natural growth. As someone that moved here, I can't complain too much that other people are moving here.
I just recently went to a meeting for the development of downtown St. Pete, and they had like some architects and a couple of the developers talking, and one guy made a really good, I think, statement to this point, and he said, cities either grow or they die. No city remains the same. So I know some people are kind of a little upset about that, but it's like, what's the alternative? Just us fading into nothingness. I don't think anyone wants that for St. Petersburg.
Yeah, for sure. And I know it can always be a tough thing, especially with rent prices and that kind of stuff going up and seeing some of your favorite businesses struggle. But that's, I think, just something that the city has got to work out. Yeah. But there's always, new stuff coming in that's really exciting. I always love to keep an eye on the I Love the Berg channel, see what's coming up. There's also, I think, St. Pete Rising that does development news that I keep an eye on. So it's cool seeing the transformative things that are exciting coming in, or, some of your favorites just moving a different location. That's not too bad, just something that works a little bit better for them.
Definitely. What are some of your favorite recreational activities in the city?
Yeah, so I know it's kind of cliche that people say I live in a place that people vacation to, but it is certainly true. We have the beaches really close by that are great to go to. My personal favorite, from asking around from the locals, is Pass the Grill. Great seashell hunting there.
Yes, beautiful.
Lovely sunsets, but you can't really go wrong with any of the beaches, so that's obviously a great one to do. A lot of fun, different kind of cultural events going around town. There's a lot of arts centers here that put on different creative exercises. I've done stamp carving and other fun little activities there.
That's cool.
I've got a couple of annual passes to the various theme parks down here, so it's an easy, day trip, whether it's to Busch Gardens or any of the Disney parks in Orlando.
And they've got a new Disney park opening up, I think,
in Universal Park.
Universal. That's right, yeah, because it's Harry Potter.
Yes,
yeah, that's cool. I'm really excited for that. That's May, I think.
Yep, in May, so that'll be huge. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
So
hard to go wrong.
Yes. So lots of stuff to do, and then the nature here is great. Obviously, maybe not in downtown city, but we have a lot of great lakes to walk around. I love Crescent Lake Park in particular. A lot of great, birds. I am a big fan of the roseate spoonbill. They
Nice.
look weird, but I always get really excited when I see one out in the wild, so I appreciate that. Or the sandhill cranes. It's always really cool to see those since it's a little bit more rare. So yeah, I love, the nature side of it, as well as the kind of more kitschy entertainment like the theme parks.
Yeah. And so do you ever spend any time in Tampa? Do you ever go across the bridge and experience Tampa, or is that like a rare thing for you?
Yeah, I occasionally get over there. I'm a big musical fan, so I really like the Straz Center over there. So it's, a pretty easy drive for the most part, unless there's someone broken down.
Right.
That's the only thing that causes a little issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is one of the fun things about coming from DC. I'm used to traffic. I'm used to, driving a little bit of ways. So I think it's always so funny that people in St. Pete like don't even want to go to Clearwater when it's only 30 minutes away or whatever.
You're like,
yeah,
that's nothing.
I have a friend that'll be like, oh, I'm not going to Africa. I'm like, come on, it's not that far.
So how would you compare like the vibe? A lot of people when they're moving down here are kind of stuck between Tampa and St. Petersburg. So what's maybe some of the vibe differences? What kind of person might prefer St. Petersburg to Tampa in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I've heard the comparison that St. Pete is kind of like the older, chill sibling to Tampa's more business, a little bit more suited up type sibling. So I personally like the vibe of St. Pete. I like that it's a city that everything is within walking distance to a degree, which I personally appreciate that I can get around. It's actually been the only city that I've really been able to know my way around just by walking around, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
I've not really learned that other places.
Definitely.
So I really like that aspect. Like I had a friend who was actually from the Tampa side come over and wanted ice cream and was like, oh, I'll go to Kilman's. And I was like, well, let me show you, something else a little bit, further down the street that we can take you to. So it's been nice knowing and having a good understanding of the landscape of the city, which I like.
Definitely. And I like what you said about, this has like been a common theme when we talk to people is like Tampa is suits, St. Pete is sandals.
Yeah. I think that's a very fair, and I mean, I think that is one of the nice things that if you personally prefer a more casual lifestyle, like you can feel okay wearing shorts at a restaurant. You don't necessarily have to dress up. And there's people like that is more of their comfort level than being in suit and tie, which has its place, but I think it is nice not to have to worry too much about your appearance.
100%. Hence, I'm working today and wearing a t-shirt.
Same.
Okay, so if for someone who's from out of the area coming into town, what's one thing you would tell them about St. Petersburg, or maybe what should they do if they're only visiting for a day or two? Just any sort of tips or feedback you could provide to someone who's never been here before but is maybe making a trip.
Yeah, I think a must-do is definitely seeing large sunsets here. I think they're so beautiful out by the beach. I'm not even personally a huge beach fan, but they're just that nice that is kind of a must-hit that you have to do.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, and we are here with
Zhuing Nguyen.
Zhuing Nguyen. And how long have you lived in St. Petersburg?
Gosh, I've been here 30 years?
30 years?
Probably longer.
Oh my gosh, so
I'm
you've
old.
seen St. Pete totally change.
Totally. Completely. And it's been awesome. It's an awesome journey to see it grow from where it is now, even just the past 5 years. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what are some things that you love about St. Pete? What makes St. Pete such a special city?
hands down, the people. The people here are incredible, amazing. It's diverse culturally. People, hands down.
Nice. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. What are some of your favorite things to do in St. Petersburg? For someone who may be coming, a lot of people watch these who are out of state in maybe colder environments. And so like what does a free day look like in St. Petersburg for you?
All right. Best things in St. Pete. I am personally on a journey to hit all the parks in St. Pete. There's about 183 of them, so I've been checking that out. That's kind of cool. There is, if you're a dog person, there is a dog beach at Fort DeSoto that I love.
We've shouted that dog beach out in probably
so many times?
a third of our interviews. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not a hidden gem anymore. Okay, it's out there. Also, we're close enough to Orlando, so if you like the theme parks, which I do, and roller coasters, we have them in Tampa and Orlando, which are only, an hour away, hour 15 minutes away. So, yeah, that's an ideal place in St. Pete is Fort DeSoto for me, parks.
And so what caused you to move to St. Petersburg? How did you pick St. Pete instead of like Tampa across the bay?
Well, I'll tell you what, I grew up here. What's caused me to stay has been the growth that we talked about, right?
Okay.
A little bit of everything. I've tried New York, the big city stuff for a while, and really ultimately here's just the best way of life. It's a good speed. The business community is fantastic, supportive. Yeah, I can't imagine myself being anywhere else.
Yeah. And so you own a business?
I do. Yeah.
Do you want to plug yourself?
No, I don't have
Okay,
to, but if you need marketing, call Big C. No,
Okay.
we're fine.
So just for people, a lot of people, when they're coming here, they're like, okay, well, I want to be in Florida. They start comparing us to some of the other cities like Orlando or Miami or Tampa. And usually by the time they're at St. Petersburg, it's kind of a question of St. Pete versus Tampa. What would someone find here that they wouldn't in Tampa? Or what are some of the differences between the two cities? Vibes, amenities, any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm a big St. Pete and Tampa kind of person. I like living in St. Pete. The vibe here is a little, I don't say easier going, but it really is. I think you could, for the business side, if you network here in St. Pete, it's much more about relationship building. I won't say it's not in Tampa, but I think in Tampa it's very much like, who are you, why are you here, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think that the food scene here is pretty good. It might be slightly stronger in Tampa, but it's pretty good, real personal here.
Did you hear Michelin is coming into St. Pete?
That's a new thing, so I can't wait now, and I think it's about time. So that'll be really cool.
What's your what restaurant do you think would deserve a visit from the Michelin guys in case they're watching?
Oh gosh, I always enjoy my time. Olivia just opened here. That's super fun. That's a great spot.
Have you been to 4-2 yet?
I have not. Is that on the list?
It's very good. It's expensive, but very, very good food.
Nice. I love this place called Good Intentions. It's have you tried
Good
there?
Intentions is great.
Yeah.
Right? They're by my favorite comedy spot here, Spitfire Comedy.
Love that
So I'll go
place.
to their Thursday improv night because the tickets are $8.
That's right.
And we'll often just grab, and it used to be $5. That's inflation, but
Yeah.
$8 is fair. And so I'll grab dinner at Good Intentions, walk across to Spitfire, watch a comedy
Same.
show.
That's my ideal date night. I love that. Again, everything's walkable here downtown, so
Yeah,
I
nice.
really enjoy it.
So what's something that you maybe don't like about St. Petersburg? Something that could be improved on?
Ooh, gosh, that's a hard one. The traffic's getting slightly worse because so many people are moving down here.
Yeah.
But I think that's a small short-term problem. You know, I think the city's doing a great job with looking at the corridors and whatnot, and how to improve that constantly. But that's my only complaint.
Yeah,
You know.
that's great. Anything else that you'd like to share? Just anything that you want people who are considering moving to St. Pete to know before maybe they make that big decision?
Ooh, I think you just have to come down here and check it out for yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's just fantastic. And as a beekeeper, our bees are more productive year-round.
Are you a beekeeper?
I am. Random plug.
Oh, wow, that's
backyard
cool.
beekeeper. So
Awesome.
there we go.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Really appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having me.
So there you have it, kind of an insider's look from local residents about what is St. Petersburg, what do they love about it here, and why did they choose St. Petersburg over Tampa. I hope this video provided you with some value. If it did, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell button so you're notified of future uploads, and comment below some of your thoughts on this video or other topics you'd like us to cover in the future. As always, if my team and I can be of any assistance to you in moving to the Sunshine City, just reach out to us at the information below, and we'll see you in the next video.